Good afternoon, YouTube. Matt and Roy back once again. Well, I bet you guys are wondering where the heck I have been. Well, I have been pretty much under the weather the past few days. My allergies have been terrible. It seems to be a recurring theme when I'm back here in Virginia. I think a lot of it has to do with the area, the different allergens that are around here. But I am feeling much better today. Part of the reason I'm feeling better today is it's 70, y'all. That is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And Eric, the reason I'm doing this live stream, buddy, is because of your post. We are at 70 degrees here as well. I just saw that on your Facebook. As a matter of fact, let me open up our local news app and I'll give you guys the exact temperature. And if it loads, would be nice. 75 degrees right now in my current location. Now, I will tell you this. We have a lot of wind going on right now. As a matter of fact, you can see my pictures in the background there. That and my speakers are hanging on the wall. We're doing a little bit of a jig a few minutes ago. Milo is up there in the window. Maybe if I point to it, it'll actually focus there. Nah, you can kind of make out his silhouette there, but he's having fun looking outside. They don't normally get to do this at all. Really was an interesting Saturday. I am working on about 0 sleep last night with my allergies. So if I'm a little giddy during this live stream, please forgive me. A lot of it is just due to lack of sleep. I'm kind of at that euphoric point. I don't know if you guys have ever had a night where you just really didn't sleep or at least didn't get any deep sleep. That was me last night. So I'm kind of at the point where I'm a little on the overtired side. So I'm getting that kind of euphoria in my brain. So I'm actually feeling really good right now. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just do a live stream. Now, I have spent quite a few minutes outside. As a matter of fact, I've filmed a vlog over the past few days. Probably going to end it either today or tomorrow. It's going to wind up probably being a 3-day vlog. And once again, just because I don't really have the energy to upload it right now. So those of you that are waiting for a new vlog to come out, you're going to have to wait another day or two, but there will be one coming out. I need to do some work on the Tahoe, and some of that's in there, some shopping that I did at Walmart. So the vlog will be a little bit for everybody, let's say. But Milo really seems to be enjoying himself up there. Milo, gonna come say hi? Want to come say hi? Come here, buddy. Come here, buds. Come on, bud. Oh, my is here. How about a like for Mr. Milo? Look at those eyes. Whoa. One cat that does not like to be held, folks. This cat absolutely hates being held. But if I'm really careful, he might tolerate it for a minute. Good boy, Milo. Don't worry. You'll get to go back up in that window in just a moment. Say hi to everybody. Good kitty. You good boy. You a good boy? Oh, okay. Yeah, that was enough. I kind of figured. So what do we get? About 20 seconds on that? Not surprised. Brad Smith says hello to Milo. I've been picking out a little bit today. I have not had much of an appetite from being under the weather. I've actually lost quite a few more pounds. I'm down to about 212 again. And that's with the muscle weight. So when you factor that in, my BMI is pretty much at normal right now. So I don't feel too bad about picking out a little bit on the weekends. And I'm going to show you guys something that I picked up at Lidl that is the bomb. This is Herrs, Herrs, the Pennsylvania company, hot cocoa and marshmallow flavored snack balls. They sound gross. I'll be honest with you. When I saw them, they were on clearance at Lidl for 99 cents, and this was for a 6-ounce bag. I said to myself, Matt, this is disgusting. Who would ever buy it? Well, guess what? It just sounded so gross and so just that I had to try it. And let me tell you guys, I am addicted to this stuff. See what this looks like. They almost look like big Cocoa Pebbles. If you guys have ever had post Cocoa Pebbles, you know, the Flintstones type. I think that's about as good as we're going to get here. This camera's not going to really focus, but you can actually see it better like that. But I'm going to put one in. If you ever had Hers cheese balls, pretty much the exact same thing, except there's no cheese, and it's just got marshmallows, chocolate, and I guess that's about it. I'll read you the ingredients. Cornmeal, sugar, vegetable oil, contains one or more of the following: cornstarch, cottonseed palm, cocoa powder, processed with alkali, cocoa powder, again, cocoa powder twice, gum arabic, whatever the heck that is, cornstarch, salt, triglycerides. Suffice to say, this is not healthy for you at all. But as I've said in the past, you do have to treat yourself sometimes. And this is a guilty pleasure of mine. Let's see if I can give you guys a better view of that. Love this stuff. I'm going to pop another one real quick. Nutrition facts, 1 ounce. So bear in mind, 1 ounce, 130 calories, 6 grams of fat, 19 carbohydrates, but you do get 1 dietary fiber. So you can subtract a carbohydrate. So you get really 18 carbohydrates and 8 grams of sugar. So you have 6 servings per container. So you guys can do the math. This is not as bad as something like a potato chip would be, but still not terrible. Moving on. No garage sales today. I actually did go to a garage sale, but they really didn't have anything there. It was a moving sale. And it was funny because they always make it sound better than it actually is. In the listing, they pretty much made it sound like it was the whole house, inside and out. You can go in, pretty much we're selling everything. We got to get up, move quickly, and just liquidate everything. Well, when I got there, I knew that wasn't the truth because I've been to this house before, and pretty much everything was outside in the driveway, a few things in the garage. They had some tools and things, but stuff that I already have. So garage sales will probably be coming up, I'm thinking, within the next few months. Now, that's all going to depend on whether or not I'm going to go back upstate New York and work that job again. I don't know what's going to happen there yet. So just kind of on the fence about it. If I do wind up staying here, then I'm going to try my best to do some more garage sale hauls for you because I know everybody loves those there. Let me see. Brad Smith said, I'm glad you're in a good mood. Yeah, I kind of explained why. Eric goes, it's 67 according to the dash in my truck, LOL. I'll have to go out to my Yukon later, which oddly enough is the only vehicle I own that will tell you the temperature. My Tahoe and my LeSabre don't have that feature. They don't have the automatic climate control. And the weather forecast just updated. Still 75 degrees here. What do you got? 6 watchers and 1 like. Come on. If you guys are enjoying this, please at least give me a like here. Help me out there. Chris Garrett, test, chat locking up for me. Yeah, I'm glad I'm actually able to get the chat working again. And I'll tell you what the problem was. It asks you 2 questions now. One is your video made for kids, yes or no? And the other question, that's the first question. The second question is your video, should we restrict your video for children 18 or under? What I was doing is I was saying, yes, the video is made for kids, and no to restricting it for people that are 18 and under. The big mistake I made is that first one. If you say yes, the video is made for kids, it automatically disables the chat and you can't monetize the videos. And I figured that out a couple of days ago. So no more problems there. You guys and gals will still be able to get the chat window now. Once in a while, I might put up a video or do a live stream where I don't want to answer any questions, and I'll disable the chat. But for the most part, chat is going to stay enabled. Oh my goodness. Milo is having a field day. I'm positive Baxter is in the other room. Honestly, I'm almost positive that he is. So we got 6 people here, 5, 6 people. How's everybody doing out there? Everybody sticking to their New Year's resolutions? Everybody been losing weight or whatever your New Year's resolution is? Let me know. I'm curious. Other than that, there isn't a lot new going on in my life right now. Other than the fact that we need to start cleaning house. And one thing I need to do is start selling some of those bicycles that I have, because that is really clogging up the shed. I actually own, I think, 6 bicycles now, and it's just getting ridiculous. I'm quickly becoming the hoarder that my grandfather was. And they say you become your family members, you become your father. Well, in my case, I'm becoming my grandfather. My grandfather, bless his heart, on my mother's side, was a hoarder. Now, luckily, the house they had was not a hoarded house, but if he went to the dump, which he did on a regular basis, he would usually bring back more than he would take. And this was back in the day when you could go to the dump and they would allow you to take anything you wanted. He used to bring back furniture. He brought back radios, TVs. I mean, pretty much anything and everything you could think of that they had available back in this would have been the 60s, 70s, and mostly 80s, maybe into the early 90s. He would bring back. And I remember that fondly. I do remember going with him, I should say, to the dump when I was a young kid. And my grandfather never had a lot of money, so the vehicles that he owned were, at the very least, unreliable, at the very worst, total death traps. I recall a late 60s, early 70s Chevrolet Cheyenne dump truck that he had, where the floor looked like a piece of Swiss cheese. I mean, you could literally put your feet through the floor and actually run this thing like a Flintstones car. It was that rotted out. And there was a story that my uncle told where he was it was either that truck or one similar to it, and they were going down the big hill from Smithville Flats to Green, and my grandfather lost his brakes. The brake line popped and there was no brakes. So my uncle literally had to jump out of the vehicle and hang on to the door and try to slow it. And luckily it was close enough to the bottom of the hill, he was able to stop that vehicle. So suffice to say, my grandfather never had the safest vehicles. How he ever got them to pass inspection, I have no idea. Chris Garrett, it's getting windy here. Storms moving in. Tornado watches out for tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of areas in the country that are dealing with that right now. I heard Mississippi this morning had tornado watches. Please stay safe out there. I'm pretty sure I know for a fact you have a basement. Now, where I live, including this house, there are no basements because we're below sea level or right at sea level. So when we have a tornado or a hurricane or whatever, the safest thing we can do is go into the center closet, which is under the stairs, or into the bathroom downstairs, because that's surrounded by multiple walls. But generally, if it's going to be that bad, we just get out of Dodge. Dashing through the snow in a rusty Chevrolet, down the road I go, sliding all the way. I need new piston rings, I need some new snow tires. My car is held together by a piece of chicken wire. Oh, rust and smoke, the heater broke, the door just blew away. I light a match to see the dash, and then I start to pray. The frame is bent, the muffler went, the radio, it's okay. Oh, what fun it is to drive this rusty Chevrolet. I don't know. Hopefully you guys like my singing. Tim B, actually driving past Green now, heading to the Norwich Walmart. Oh, awesome. Actually, 2 of my bicycles, my recent bicycle purchase came from that Walmart. Stay safe. Route 12 is hazardous, even when there isn't bad weather out there. I'm wondering if the whole system's not working, because I've been at 7 watchers and 1 like for the longest time. Somebody just give me a like out there. Even if you don't like this video, just shoot me a like so I know that that's actually working. Okay, well, I guess it's not. I think I got my answer there. Oh, well, moving on. So temperature wise, this time of year around here, this is very unusual. This is January 11th, and we're at 75 degrees. Unbelievable. Oh, we're up to 2 likes, so I guess it is working now. The best thing I can tell you guys and gals to do out there, take advantage of the nice weather while you can. It's not going to last, folks, anywhere. I know in our area, at least, I should have kept that up, by the way. Hang on, I can pull it back up here in a minute. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, no. The Virginia Beach fire crews conducting training at vacant, Belvedere Hotel at Oceanfront. They have this picture of a fire truck in front of the Belvedere, and I forgot that actually closed. I was thinking that it was actually on fire, but now they're just doing drills. That's why you got to read it, folks, when you see those headlines. For the next week, the next few days, it's going to be raining. So I'm definitely going to try to get a bike ride in today, even though I am exhausted. But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, rain pretty much all day, 72, 67, 60. It's not even going to get below like 40 degrees the next week. So it's going to be really nice. And I'm hoping that the next Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, when it says there's like 70, 60% chance of rain, that could change. Believe it or not, even though it says 70% chance of rain, it may not be rain all day long. We'll just have to see how that goes. But yeah, I'd really, really love to get some bike rides in. Aunt Loretta's here. How is your dad doing? Oh, yes, I do need to give you guys an update because I think most of you by now know my father went in for rotator cuff replacement surgery, his left shoulder. He's doing fine. There was a slight issue. I'm not going to go into the big details, but after the surgery took a little bit longer than they thought. It always does because he's got really big joints. The surgery went fine, other than it went a little bit longer. But afterwards, his blood pressure was on the low side, like low enough where they were concerned they didn't want to put him in a room. So we had to stay in recovery for most of that day. Luckily, by that evening, I want to say it was like 4 or 5, his blood pressure had risen enough to where he was able to get a room. He stayed in for the next day and came home the day after. So I guess he was in about 2 days, let's say. He's doing fine. I'm helping him out with his exercises. Most of them he can do himself. This was like the rehab part. But the one he can is I have to lift his arm, his elbow and his wrist at the same time. And you kind of got to go from the knee as far up as you possibly can and then back down slowly. And you have to do that 10 times. That with a few other exercises. There's one that kind of looks like this, where you just, because you want to try to work it out. You got to remember, this is a fake joint and your muscle has to grow around that joint again. So you really just have to keep exercising, and there's a lot of rehab. It's going to take about 6 months for him to get full range of motion back, but he should get most of that back. Mr. Burns, yeah, you have not been here for a while. Currently having a very mild January here in the UK with temperatures around 7 to 13 Celsius. So that's 45 to 55 Fahrenheit. Thank you for that translation there. Mild by our standards. It's also been cloudy, windy, and rainy. Wow. Yeah, it is kind of mild. I know you guys don't tend to get a lot of snow, but I know that you can get some cold temperatures there. And of course, fog, if you're in the London area, is supposed to be particularly bad. Humid over there too. It's very humid here usually, though not in the winter. Oddly enough, the humidity comes more in the summer in this area. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I'm not a meteorologist. But I just always found that interesting. We don't usually get that much humidity in the winter, but the summer and fall are usually the most humid times. And then winter and spring are usually really, really nice. Oh, he'll like that, Lorette. Yeah, definitely give him a call. He's feeling much better today. It took a while. You know, when you're in the hospital, you don't sleep well, especially because what wound up happening was the heat went out in the main part of the hospital. So they actually had to do the surgery in the heart hospital, which was in the back. So he actually had the surgery there, and he wound up having a room back there, which is actually nice because it's quieter back there. It's a new wing, so we got the nicer, newer rooms. But it takes longer to do because the facilities aren't as elaborate. And luckily, I think the next day they fixed the heat, but they just wound up keeping him in that heart hospital wing anyway, though. He didn't really need to be there, but they just didn't have a choice. Actually, most of the surgeries that day were canceled. They just flat out canceled them. His, they didn't, because he had 3 days of prep work, which would have had to been repeated if they did cancel it. No, I don't live in Florida. I live in Southern Virginia. If you ever heard of Virginia Beach, I'm actually pretty close to there. What do we got? 9 watchers. Awesome. I didn't figure we get a lot of people here. I don't know. I wasn't really going to do much else right now, so I figured why not do a quick live stream. I'm probably going to end this at 30 minutes because I do have some things that I need to do today. First thing I want to do when I'm done is polish off this bag of Hers hot Cocoa Puffs. Man, I love the smell of this stuff. And they actually call it crunchy corn snacks. So this is pretty much identical to the cheese puffs, except no cheese, just chocolate and marshmallow. I even love the smell of that stuff. Though I'm not going to be buying that anymore because I really don't want to put any more weight back on. For those of you that didn't see this early on, my current weight stands at about 213, 212, 213, depending on the day. I was down as low as 205, but when I went and worked in upstate New York, I put on a lot of muscle weight. And I know it's muscle weight because I can physically see the pecs growing there. But what'll happen is now that I'm not doing that heavy lifting right now, some of that will actually turn to fat if I'm not careful. So I need to keep up my weight lifting or I'm going to start reversing. Brad Smith, hey Matt, I had weird with my motherboard. I reinstalled Windows and the BIOS update I flash got uninstalled, and the board I got is the same one your friend Eric got at the thrift store. If you flash a motherboard and it's not the right with a new BIOS and it's not the right BIOS, one of two things is going to happen. One, it's either going to reject the BIOS and go back to the fail-safe one, which it sounds like that's what happened in your case, or it'll brick the board, and you're lucky that didn't happen. Very rarely there's the third one where it was the right BIOS, but the download didn't work. It was corrupted. But either way, what I would do is try to make sure you have the right BIOS revision for the update, download it, and try to reinstall it again. If you're not having any problems with the board as it is with the current BIOS revision, then I wouldn't even bother updating it. I do not update the BIOS on any motherboard unless it's a Dell, because Dell is really good about their BIOS updates. If it's something like I have a custom built system back there with a Cooler Master case with an Asus motherboard. The BIOS is like 2 or 3 revisions out of date, and I won't update it because there's no problem with the revision that's on there. It's perfectly stable, and I know instinctively that even though I may get the right version for that motherboard, it could be corrupted. I've actually seen it to where the BIOS, the new version, was corrupt on the actual website, on Asus's website, and I've actually bricked motherboards that way. So unless you are really, really experienced with flashing the BIOSes on motherboards, be very careful, because Eric, I don't know if Eric's back yet, but he'll tell you this has actually happened to him before, and it's actually happened to me before too. Have I got an IBM ThinkPad? I have an old ThinkPad. We're talking about like Pentium 1. It's like a Pentium 133. I have not had that out in years. It's in that walk-in closet. It's a 5000 series, I think it was. There's a video up on my channel about it, probably 5 or 6 years ago. You can actually look that up. George Malian. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, Might have to loosen my belt here a little bit, folks. I am eating too much right now. Yeah, I'll work it off. It's not that big a deal. We're almost at 25 minutes. So we're going about another 5 minutes here. So if you have any questions, this is the time to get them in. I might extend it depending on whether or not we have enough to talk about. Again, I will be uploading a vlog sometime. I'm not going to make any promises. I need to get a good night's sleep tonight. I'm working again on like 0 sleep right now. Evan asks, you think about Stadia? I don't know anything about it, honestly. I really can't tell you one way or another. He says, do you think streaming will eventually be the preferred way to play video games? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's already going there right now. I mean, even when you buy like a PlayStation 4 game or an Xbox One game, a lot of times you just get the code. You don't even get the disc anymore. And true, you can usually download the game to the console, but then there are elements of the game. I think it is on the Xbox One that you need to have the internet for. The PS4, you can download the whole game and play it offline, but not the Xbox One. That's as far as I know. I don't know if that's changed or not, but short answer is yes. I mean, everybody's using Steam for most of their games now. I am not a gamer. I am not a gamer at all. If I do play a game, it's like retro video games. We're talking about like Nintendo, NES, maybe Super Nintendo. And then for PCs, it's like DOS, Windows 3.1, 95, 98, maybe up to Windows XP, but that's about it. I have other passions now. There was a time in my life that I loved playing video games. I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to spend hours and hours and hours playing my PlayStation. Tomb Raider was one of my favorite games, but not anymore. I'm 36 years old, and yeah, adults like video games too, but I just find better uses for my time elsewhere, let's say. That was a good question, though. It's funny when you think about where we've come from. The Atari 2600, that was an 8-bit system that had, I don't even remember, I think it was something like each cartridge held maybe like 8K or 16K, to what we have now, where you can just download gigabytes. I've even seen some games that are hitting the terabyte range now to your computer and just play them online. It's mind-boggling the relatively short period of time it's taken us to go from the Atari to what we have now. I mean, when you think about it, it's been what? So the Atari came out in 1981, so rounded off to 1980. So it's been what, 40 years? That's not a lot of time, folks. I mean, the technology has just moved so darn fast. Yeah, that is another thing. I know this because I've set up gaming rigs in the past, and yeah, the servers definitely are a little on the slower side. Generally, it's setting up Fortnite. Most of my customers want to play Fortnite, and I usually have to do that initial download from Steam. Is it Steam? No, it's actually from the Blizzard site. And it's like a 28 gig file, and that takes a good portion of the day. We're talking 12, 13 hours to download, and it's not my connection because I have a gigabit connection wired Ethernet Cat 6 to the computer. It's their servers just getting bogged down. No, I've never played SimCity 4. The only SimCity I ever played was the original, and we're talking about the one actually for the Mac. We're talking the one that came out in, 1989, 1990. Chris Carroll, my first Atari, Space Invaders, was labeled wrong. It was Pole Position, not Space Invaders. I got to wonder if maybe somebody at the store did that as a joke. I can't imagine it would happen at the factory, but I guess anything's possible. Loved Pole Position, and actually like Space Invaders better, honestly. I could spend hours when I was really young playing Space Invaders. Now, bear in mind, I'm of the Nintendo, NES, and Super Nintendo generation, but we did have an Atari. My parents had one of the first Ataris out there. We're almost at 30 minutes, and I think we're going to end this at 30 because I'm getting tired. I want to finish up my little snack here, and I still have a few things I have to do. I need to go out and work on the Tahoe. So I'm going to end this live stream here. Thank you all for coming. If you are lucky enough to have a warm day like this, please get out and enjoy it. Take a walk, take a nice long bike ride, just enjoy the day. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.